Hello everyone. So in this video, we will very quickly try to touch upon three different topics of logical reasoning, starting with series, blood relations, and directions. Okay. So just give me a couple of minutes. Students are joining. Hmm. Chaliye. Coming back. So to start off, series. Now, series can be based on numbers and alphabets, or rather, I should say, and or alphabets, right? So, what happens in a series typically is what happens in a series based questions typically is there will be a set of numbers, there could be a set of alphabets, there will be pattern, and we'll have to continue with that pattern. So, coding decoding, there was a one-to-one relationship. In a series, I will try to continue the pattern, right? Now, obviously, the first thing that we do is identify what kind of a pattern it is. Some of the commonly used methods to write a series are number one, a series based. I'm first going through just number based series. A series could be a difference based series. For example, if the question says which number should follow 27, 42, 57, 72. So there is a pattern here. I wish to continue that pattern. What number should I write after 50, 72? I hope I'm audible. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
So what is the number that should follow these numbers? Now again, see, when I talk of series questions, the first thing that you will always do, irrespective of what the question is, look at the difference between the numbers. So I take the difference, 27 and 42 have a difference of 15, 42, 57 have a difference of 15, 57, 72 have a difference of 15. Clearly the difference is same. So the next number should also have a difference of 15 with respect to 72. Hence, the next number will be 72 plus 15, which comes out to 87. So to complete this series, the next number should be 87. Right? Now, it is not necessary that the differences will be constant. For example, if I have a series which reads something like this, again, as I said, as a rule, what I will always do is whenever I come across, whenever there is a question based on series, because I will not know what kind of a series it is. So to be sure or to have a starting point, I will always look at the differences first. If there is a pattern, I will build on that pattern. Otherwise, we'll try to do something else, right? So now, if the series says 80, 75, 65, 50, what should be the next number to continue this pattern? Again, let us take differences first. The difference between 80 and 75 is 5, basically minus 5 because the number is decreasing, okay? 75, 65 is a difference of 10. 65, 50 is a difference of 15. So basically, the numbers are decreasing and the difference is increasing. 5 and 10, the difference is 5. 10 and 15, the difference is 5. So in the next set of numbers, the difference should be 5 as well. So 15 and the difference of 5 makes it a 20. Since the numbers were decreasing, I will subtract 20 from 50 and therefore the next number here becomes 30. So here what is happening is the difference is increasing in that sense, right? So that becomes my answer. The difference does not have to be a value which is integral. For example, if I say 23, 21.75, 20.5, 19.2, can you tell me the next number here? Can you tell me the next number here? Yes. I mean, I know you can. Tell me the next number. We take differences. 21, 20, 1.25. We take differences 1.25, 21. We take a difference 1.25. So the difference is constant. The only thing is the difference isn't an integral value, right? And therefore, I will continue with this difference and subtract 1.25 from 19.25. 19 minus 1, 18.2. So the answer here becomes 80. While solving a question on series, the first thing that we do is we will take differences. There is a chance that you will find a relationship between the differences mentioned. So continue with that. The differences could be constant, a difference of 15. The differences could be increasing. Yeah. The differences could be increasing. Differences could also be of the form which are not integral values. One of the most common set of questions you will come across. The next commonly used pattern is a product based pattern. So for example, if I say 40, 40, 60, 120, 300. Now if I look at the differences, the difference here is 0, then becomes 20, then becomes 60, then becomes 180. If I further look at differences 20, 40, 120, clearly there is no pattern, right? And therefore I'll have to try something else here. Differences won't work. Now, a clear giveaway of a product-based series is the rate of change is very high, and therefore the end numbers tend to be high values. For example, if I look at my series, which was based on differences, you will see that I started from 27, and in 4 steps, I was able to reach only 72, a difference of about 50. But in a product-based series, in the same 4 steps, we go from 440 to 300. And therefore, because there doesn't seem to be a relationship between the difference of numbers, I look at multipliers. To make 40 a 40, I have to multiply by 1. To make 40 a 60, I have to multiply by 1.5. To make 60 a 120, I have to multiply by 2. To make 120 a 300, again, because of the pattern, I can see that I have to multiply by 2.5. And therefore, the next number will be into 3, which is 900. Multiplication based series. Look at this series and tell me the answer, please. 4, 9, 20, 43, 90. Just to give you a hint, there is a multiplication part here as well. And also there is a addition part. So this series is a mix of both of them. Any answers?
185.
185, okay. And what are we doing?
Into 2 plus 1, into 2 plus 2, into 2 plus 3.
Absolutely. So if I look at the numbers here, I see that. Sorry. The number goes from 4 to 90 in about 4 steps. If I look at the differences, 5, 11, 23, 47. Again, here I'm also getting a pattern, by the way. दोनों से try करते हैं. But again, now if I look at 4 and I want to make it a 9, 4 into 2 is 8. So I can make it an into 2 plus 1. 9 multiplied by 2 is close to 20. Into 2, 18 plus 2. Into 2 plus 3. Into 2 plus 4. And therefore this has to be into 2 plus 5. 185. Please understand, when I'm looking at a multiplication based series, the end numbers give me a better idea than the starting numbers, because If I have to go from 4 to 9, I can have into 2 plus 1. I could also have into 3 minus 3. They're pretty close in that sense, right? But 43 to 90 has to be into 2 something. If I go into 3, it will cross the number and reach 120 odd. So multiplicative numbers tend to give me an answer towards the end. If I work with differences, what happens? 4 minus 9, 5. 90 minus 20 minus 9, 11. 23, 47, 6, 12, 24. So the next difference could be 48 into 2 into 2 into 2. 47 plus 48 is 95. So the difference of these two numbers should be 95. From here also I get 185. This series could also be called a difference of difference based series. In the end, I get the multiplier. Starting by taking differences is typically a safe idea when you're dealing with numbers series, right? Next, 1, 2, 6, 30, 210. Here, this is the giveaway. To make 30 or 210, I have to multiply by 7. To make 6 or 30, I have to multiply by 5. And then I go backwards. 7, 5 seem to be odd numbers. 2 into 3 is 6. But 1 into 2 is 2. So if I look at the multipliers, 2, 3, 5, 7.
2,
These
3,
are prime numbers.
2, 3, 1, 0.
Therefore, the next multiplier has to be 11. 210 to 11 will be 0, 1, 3. 2, 3, 1, 0. Absolutely correct. So as you can see, this kind of gave away the question for me, right? चलिए आगे देखते हैं. The third most commonly used pattern is power-based pattern. What do I mean by power-based patterns? Squares and cubes, essentially. For example, a basic sort of a question could read this: 1, 8, 9, 20, 64, 25. The value increases, then all of a sudden decreases. From 8 to 9, there is a small increase. 9 to 64 is a kind of drastic sort of an increase. And therefore, what I do is I look at squares and cubes close to these numbers. 25 I know is 5 squared. 84 could be 8 squared or 4 cube. 9 I know is 3 squared. 8 could be 2 cube. And therefore, I get the pattern. 1 square, 2 cube, 3 square, 4 cube, 5 square. And therefore, the next number will be 60 or 216. Absolutely. 216. Power based series. Look at this one. This is, I think, a better one. 4, 5, 14, 51, 220. If I look at the differences to start off, 1, 9, 20, 37, 41. This is a huge difference. 49, 61, 69. 8, I'm not sure what is happening here. This doesn't seem to work for sure. Now, if I have to go from 4 to 5, 4 into 1 plus 1 could work. 5 to 14. 5 into 2 plus 4. Or 5 into 3 minus 1 could work. 14 to 51. 14, 3. These are 42 plus 9. There is the order 51 into 4 plus 16. So basically it is 4 into 1 plus 1. So from 4 to 5. 5 into 2 plus the square 4, 14. 14 into 3 plus 9. 51 into 4 plus 16. And therefore the next number here will be 220 into 5 plus the square of 25. This, I will say, is a moderate to difficult question from the ones that we've done so far. Look at this question. This is a summation based question, summation of powers. Try this question.
Your 150
150. Hmm. And how did you do this question?
square plus cube.
Very good. If I look at the differences, difference is 10, 24, 54, 14, 30. Does not make sense. 2. 12 I know is 8 plus 4, which is 2 cube plus 2 squared. 2 therefore could be 1 cube plus 1 squared. 36. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 cube plus 3 squared. 80 therefore will be 4 cube plus 4 squared. And therefore finally 5 cube plus 5 squared. 124, 150 would be the answer. Another, I think, uh, relatively difficult question in that sense. This is a question from one of the old exams. It says 320, 63, 144. Not obviously I am Bangalore. Some other paper which had an LR section, but an actual exam question. 320, 63, 144, 275. Any answers for this? Hmm. Now, in the exam, what worked was difference of differences actually. I think it should work. A difference of 17, 43, 81, 231, 131, 26, sorry, 26, 70, 38, 50. So difference of 12 and 12. So here also I'll have a difference of 12. This will become 62. 131 plus 62. 193. 275 plus 193. So 7 short of 200. 475 minus 7. 468 or something. Could be the answer. Right? Another way of cracking the question again eventually happened was, since I had an idea that it is a power based series, I looked for squares close to these numbers or factors of these numbers. So 3 would be 1 into 3. 20 can be 2 squared. 4 into 5. 63 becomes 9 into 7. So 1, 4, 9. 16. And odd numbers 3, 5, 7, 9. This will be 25 into 11. And therefore the answer has to be 36 into 30. Which again will come out to 468. As you can see, that this is a power based series, but even doing differences of differences eventually gave me the answer. And therefore, as I said, agar number based series hai, a safe way to start off is look at the differences and look for a pattern. That doesn't happen, look for a multiplier. That doesn't happen, look for parts. There could also be factorial based patterns. For example, 1, 2, 4, 9, 28. This is nothing but again, because the differences don't work, because the powers don't work, I look for other areas. But again, in the exam, I'm looking for difference, power, or product based series. Those are series that you will be able to hit for invariably most of the cases. Then the other kind of series could be miscellaneous, and the hit rate for them could be lower. You know it is a factorial based series, it is easier to figure out. For example, अब ये लिखा हुआ है तो 28 मेरे को पता है 4 फैक्टोरियल प्लस 4 हो जाएगा 24 plus 4. So this should be what 3 factorial plus 3. ये 2 factorial plus 2. ये 1 factorial plus 1. ये 0 factorial plus 1. Now that I know that this is gonna 0 factorial plus 0, sorry. 0 factorial की value 1 होती है. I know it is a factorial based series, I'm able to crack it, but अगर नहीं पता हो, it is difficult to see it happen, right? But one series that is easy to see is an alternating series. Now, for a series to happen, ideally there have to be at least 4 terms so that a pattern is a unique pattern follows. In 3 terms, you can see there could be a pattern that is not unique. In an alternating series, there are two series that have been linked together, and the alternate terms form a series, right? Typically, therefore, in an alternate series, you will see there would be at least 7 to 8 terms in the series, and the next term will be asked you. So, whenever the number of terms is high, look at alternate terms. Here, I see the alternate terms are 1, 4, 9, so 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, and the other set is 2, 3, 5. These are prime numbers, and therefore the next number here will be 7. 2, 3, 5, 7. The number after this will be 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, and so on, alternating series. We could also have series which are miscellaneous. Okay, this is a question that was asked in some exam, not a UG level exam, but a different exam, and this can be solved only through options, I think. The series was 10, 13, 180, 97. Clearly, nothing seems to happen outrightly, but one of the solutions was 10 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 3 is 4, 1 plus 8 plus 9, 0 is 9, 9 plus 7 is 16, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. The last, the next term had to have the digit sum as 25. Look at this series. Anyone who can crack the series on the screen now? 31, 28, 31, 30, 31, 30, 31. If you've seen a series like this, it would not take more than a few seconds. If you have not, or if you don't know wherever you can go, then this is a series that will never be cracked. What should be the next number? Any answers? I do not expect this kind of a series to be a exam question, but these are the number of days in a non-leap year month. Consecutive month: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and therefore the next number should be the number of days in August, which is 31. Take this 30, 31, 30, 31 was the giveaway, but again, an exam situation might be difficult. So what I'm saying is, miscellaneous series could be a challenge to crack, but as long as it is something which is based on differences, products, or powers, I should be able to go through with the series. There could also be series based on letters. Like coding decoding, my pattern will remain the same. I will write the number value of the alphabets and then look for patterns. So these are some examples that I had. Say for example, IMQ. What should be the next number? So if I look at the values of I, A, B, C, D, F, G, I is 9, M is L, M. MNOPQ. This is 17. So 9 to 13, 4. 17, 4. So the next number should be 21, which will be U. Right? Please tell me the answer to the next two questions. Hmm. Answers to the next two questions, please. Again, if I look at this question, BDG, CFJ, EINHL, B plus 1 is C, DE plus 2, FGH plus 3, and therefore the first alphabet has to be a plus 4. HIJKL. BCD, a gap of 1, basically plus 2. CDEF, EGHI, HIJKLM. So B plus D is a plus 2. CDEF is a plus 3. EFGHI is a plus 4. HIJKLM is a plus 5. So from here we'll have a plus 6. LMNOPQR. DEFG is a plus 3. FGHIJ is a plus 4. Plus 5 plus 6. So from here I'll count a plus 7. RSTUVWXY. I think LRY will be the answer. Similarly, if I look at these numbers, this is 3 squared, 7 squared, 11 squared, 15 squared. A difference of 4, 4, 4. So the number here will be 19 squared, which is 361. B, C, D, E, F plus 4. F, G, H, I, J plus 4. J, K, L, M, N plus 4. So N, O, P, Q, R plus 4. D, E, F, G, H plus 4. H, I, J, K, L plus 4. And therefore from here also plus 4. P, Q, R, S, T. So R361 T becomes the answer. Alphabet and number based series. In terms of series, there could be two other types of questions. One is a series that continues. I could also have questions which ask for a term in the center or which asks for an incorrect term. So here I have to find out the middle term or the missing term in the center. Clearly, n term is easier to solve than the missing term, which is easier to solve than the incorrect term, because forming the series becomes difficult. Here, for example, if I look at it, the difference is 1. Here it becomes 8, 16, 32. Thankfully, the pattern here is very clear. These are powers of 2, 2 cube, 2, 4, 2, 5. This is 2 raised to power 1. So the difference here should be 2 square. No, 2 raised to power 1, 2 square. So 14 becomes the answer. Because the last 3 terms clearly showed me the pattern, I was able to figure this out. If I had a number here, putting the number in the end would have been easier. The last question or series here talks about one of these terms is wrong. It does not follow a pattern, which could be that missing the wrong term. Clearly, if I now look for a pattern, the difference here is 1, 7, 7, 9, 9, 15. The problem is we do not know which number is wrong, and therefore where to change is not very clear. That becomes the challenge. But clearly 7, 7 and 9, 9 would not give me the answer because two sets of differences are the same. So here if I look at it again, clearly not a power based series because the difference is not increasing. Not a product based series, the difference doesn't seem to increase very much. And therefore if I look at powers, this is close to 2 square. So this is 2 square minus 1. This is 1 square plus 1. 3 square plus 1. For some reason, this is 4 square plus 1. This is 5 square plus 1. 6 square minus 1. 7 square plus 1. So basically, 1 is being added to odd squares. 1 is being subtracted from even square. So this should not be 17. This should have been 4 square minus 1, which is 15, should be the correct term. So from the options, one of the options will read 17. I'll tick that saying 17 is the wrong term in this series. Clearly, of the 3 types of questions, this would be a more difficult question to solve. In terms of theory, that is what series encompasses. When I talk of blood relations, again, blood relations will give me information about how set of people are related, and I'll have to find out the missing information. For example, when I talk of blood relation, how do I solve the question? Invariably, I'll draw the family tree. While drawing the family tree, I will put one generation in one line. For example, if there is a grandfather, grandmother, mother, father, son, and daughter, each line will represent one generation for me. I can use arrows to depict a husband-wife relationship, non-pointed arrows to depict a brother-sister relationship. Arrows can be drawn further to depict son and daughters. Also, whenever possible, and I have the information, I will also capture the gender relationships. So again, you can use whatever sign you want. I typically go with a rectangle for males, square circles for females. Wherever you can put in the information. So if I look at this family tree, at one go I can say there are 6 members, 2 are married pairs, 3 males, 3 females. So the first married pair had a son who got married, and then they had 2 children, 1 son, 1 daughter. So the entire information is captured in that sense. Do not make assumptions while drawing any set of any family tree. For example, when it says there is a couple, it is not necessary that the grandfather grandmother would be the couple, because there is a possibility one of them has passed away, right? Do not make assumption on genders. Just because it says Harish has said something, Harish could very well be a female, we do not know. So do not make assumptions on genders and relations based on common knowledge. Typically, terms that again could be different would be maternal, paternal. Maternal is towards the side of the mother, paternal is towards the father's side. In-laws and in blood. So wherever the relationship is not in blood, it is in-laws. For example, husband, wife are in-laws, and so on. Wherever there is a birth relationship, that is in blood. Siblings and cousins. Cousins are from a different set of parents. Siblings are from the same set of parents. Then the word nephew, niece. So for an uncle, aunt, there would be a nephew, niece. So nephew is the male, भतीजा जिसे बोलते हैं भांजा, niece is the female. In the English language, maternal and paternal relationships, we use the same names. For example, uncles and aunts. Unlike Hindi, where मामा और चाचा होते हैं, वहां पे चक्कर होता नहीं है. ठीक है? Now there are 3 types of questions, the most commonly asked ones. One is statement-based questions. The other is set-based questions. And the third one is symbol-based questions. How does a statement-based question look like? There will be information given about how 2 people are related. We have to find their relationship. For example, Rohan is the brother of the daughter of Mohit's sister. Then how is Akriti, the wife of Mohit, related to Rohan's sister? Typically start from the end, because that is a person who's identifiable, and then go upwards to draw the family tree. So what will be the answer to this question? Answer to this question, please. I start from here. Daughter of Mohit's sister. Mohit's sister and her daughter. Rohan is the brother of this person. इसका brother Rohan है. Rohan being a brother would be a male. The question is then how is Akriti, the wife of Mohit? Akriti, the wife of Mohit. So this is a couple related to Rohan's sister. We have to find out the relationship between Akriti and this daughter. Clearly, Akriti is the aunt of the daughter. Because it says Akriti's relationship, the answer will be Akriti being an aunt. We know she is a female. If the question said how is the daughter related to Akriti, the answer would become niece. Because here it says how is Akriti related to Rohan's sister? Akriti is the aunt of Rohan's sister, and therefore option C becomes the answer. Right? Another question on similar lines. Tell me the answer to this one. Pointing to a lady in the park, Harish said, she is the daughter of my grandfather's only son. How is Harish related to that lady? She is the grandfather. No, she is a daughter of my grandfather's only son. How is Harish related to that lady? Any answers?
Brother.
Brother, okay.
It cannot be determined.
Cannot be determined seems to be a better answer. My grandfather's only son. So my we know is Harish. I do not know Harish's gender as of now. My grandfather, so a grandfather here, grandfather being a male. My grandfather's only son. Now the thing is, Harish could be the son or daughter of which person? There are two possibilities. Grandfather is an only son, and Harish is the son or daughter of this son. There is another possibility that the grandfather had a daughter and a son. See, this in this case also, the grandfather father has an only son. There is no limit on daughters as such, and the daughter's son or daughter was Harish. And therefore, when Harish says, pointing to the lady, she's the daughter of my grandfather's only son. Okay, in this case also, daughter of my grandfather's only son. In this case, the daughter is here. Grandfather's only son's daughter is the lady. In this case, the lady would be here. The daughter of my grandfather's only son. So how is Harish related to the lady? Number one, the lady could have the same father as Harish if the grandfather only has a son. If the grandfather has a daughter and a son, the son has the lady as his daughter, and grandfather's daughter has Harish as maybe his her son or something. So in this case, it could be brother. Harish could be the brother. Harish could also be the cousin, and therefore cannot be determined. Moreover, we do not know Harish's gender as well. How is Harish related to that lady? At no point have we been told she's the daughter of my. What is the gender of Harish? So even if this is the case, and Harish is the female, in that case, Harish is the sister of the lady, and therefore, because of the gender and the parent confusion, I cannot determine how Harish is related to the lady. Right? So for question 2, the answer becomes D. Do not assume. The second type of question will give you information, which looks something like this. So it is a set-based question. There would be you to draw the whole family tree and then answer questions. For a question like this, I could also have two types of questions mixed. So for a family tree, I can also say the 6 people in the family are sitting around a circle. There is further information given as to how they are sitting. Or I could tell you that these 6 people have a specific profession, right? So a tabular arrangement is also to be done about these people and their professions. So that kind of a question can also be made. Right now, it is just a family tree based question. So if you can just tell me the answer. Again, just draw the family tree. A family consists of 6 members, A, B, C, D, E, F. Further information is known. There are 2 married couples. D is a married man. C is the daughter-in-law of A. Again, I'm not sure how many generations are there as of now. F is the son of B and brother of E. F is the son of B, daughter-in-law of E. If I start from the last statement, I am sure, almost sure, of the number of generations. A is the grandmother of F. Therefore, there have to be 3 generations. 1, 2, 3. A being the grandmother of F. A being the mother, we know the gender. Now I look at information about A and F. It says F is the son of B, brother of E. F is the brother of E. F being a male, therefore, and son of B. So B will be right above F, son of E. Obviously, because E is F is the brother of E. E would be B's son or daughter as well. Further information about A, if I look at, C is the daughter-in-law of A. So A will have a son who will be married to C, and they will be in the second generation. And therefore, the only possibility that I put C here, being the daughter-in-law, because daughter-in-law has to be a married couple, will have to be married to B. C being a daughter, C being a female, B becomes a male, and they become married. So one married couple is done. F and E obviously will not be married, and therefore A has to be the second married couple because there are 6 people. D is a married man because A is to be a married couple. A is a female. D becomes the married male, and this becomes the first couple. So D and A are a couple. They have B as their son. B is married to C, so 2 married couples. And B and C have 2 children, F and E. Again, if I look at the genders, I am sure of the gender of D, A, B, and C because C is the daughter-in-law, B has to be the male. F is the brother for sure. We do not know the gender for E. How is E related to F? E can be the sister or the brother of F, and therefore could be either A or B. Which of the following is one of the couples? AD and BC are the couples. DF is not the couple. DC is not the couple. DB is not the couple. And therefore, none of the mentioned options is a couple. Right? This question, obviously, in terms of level of difficulty, was towards an easy sort of a question. Uh, in the exams, the level of difficulty would be higher. Do open your books and go through the questions, you'll realize what I'm saying. The third type of question would be a question based on symbols. So there will be a symbol which will tell you a relationship, and then there are questions based on those symbols, right? So if I look at this symbol, it says, just a second, P minus Q means P is the sister of Q. What does this tell me about P and Q? What does the minus tell me about P and Q? Because P is a sister, P has to be a female. And because P and Q are sister and brother, whatever, they have to be in the same generation. P into Q means P is the father of Q. P being the father has to be a male. And they will be in 2 different generations. Generation gap of 1 will be there. P divided by Q means P is the brother of Q, which means P is the male. And they have to be in the same generation. P plus Q means P is the mother of Q. Therefore, P female. And they'll be 1 generation apart. So this is the kind of information that I get about the gender and generation. Now, when I look at the question, and the question reads, which one of the following means P is the grandmother of T? First is I draw the family tree for each of the options, starting from left to right. So P plus Q minus R minus T. P plus Q. P plus Q means P is the mother of Q. P is the mother of Q. Q minus R. Q minus R means sister. So Q is the sister of R. R minus T. Minus means sister. R is the sister of T. How is P related to T? P is the mother of T. Obviously, this is not the answer. And I can go on like this for each option. Or what I can do is, because I know that P is the grandmother, P has to be a female. In what kind of a symbol do I know that P is a female? When P is the sister or P is the mother. So P has to be followed by a minus or a plus. Plus, this is an acceptable option, plus. This cannot be the answer because it is P star Q. Star means father, so P cannot be the grandmother. Plus is acceptable. Since P is the grandmother of T, they have to be separated by 2 generations. When does a generation gap happen? Whenever there is a multiply sign, whenever there is a plus sign. So between P and T, there have to be exactly 2 plus or multiply signs. Here there is only 1. Here there are 3. Here there are 2. And therefore this has to be the answer. Just looking at the generation and the gender. If I check for D, then P plus Q means P is the mother of Q. Q into R means Q is the father of R. R minus T means R is the sister of T. Clearly, P is the grandmother of T. So, looking at the gender and the generation gap, we'll be able to solve the question. The other type of question is where a symbol is given and we have to find out the relationship. Here, drawing the family tree maybe would be a decent idea because only one tree needs to be drawn. B plus D into M divided by N. B plus D. B plus D. B is the mother of D. D into M. D is the father of M. M into N. M divided by N. M is the brother of N. How is M related to B? M is the grandson of B. Right? I could also have done this using the generation and gender concept because see, M divided by N means M is a male. Because M is a male, M cannot be the granddaughter, and therefore either A or C is not possible. Would be the son and the grandson. Between B and M, there is a gap of 2 generations. Therefore, has to be a grandson, cannot be a son. 2 generations, one because of the plus, one because of the into. So this is family tree, blood relation. Broadly, 3 types of questions. And finally, the easier topic of the day, direction test. So here what happens is there are 4 directions to be precise. The directions are relative to each other. So for example, if I draw lines perpendicular, I can put north wherever I want. Generally, we put north at the top. When I'm facing north, to my right will be the east, to the left will be the west, and opposite north will be south. The position of the directions has to be relatively like this, but it can be in any direction, so to say. Anything in between is a combination. So if I say here, this direction is northeast. Typically, there will be an angle mentioned. For example, if I move at an angle of 60 degree with east, I will say 60 degree with east in the northeast direction. Right? In general, this entire thing is the northeast area. But if there is no line mentioned, no angle mentioned, and it says I'm moving toward northeast, typically it is in the center, so 45 degree angle can be assumed. But in general, the entire thing is northeast. Similarly, to the left of north and above west will be northwest, and so on. If I'm moving in any direction, typically when I'm moving perpendicular to the axis drawn, the movement could happen, or suppose I say I start going towards the north and then I want to change directions. I will take a turn. The turn can happen in the clockwise direction or the anti-clockwise direction. So wherever you are facing, from there, if you move right towards your right, you will be turning in the clockwise direction. If you move left, you will be going in the anti-clockwise direction. So for example, if I'm facing east and I have to take right, you will realize that this is your right. So you will have to turn clockwise. If you are going west and you have to take a left, you will realize that this is your left. You will have to go anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise and clockwise a turn can happen. Right is clockwise, left is anti-clockwise. Also, the angle between any 2 consecutive direction, northeast, east, south, southwest, west, north is 90 degree. Typically, in question, movement happens in multiples of 45. Now, commonly asked questions will talk to you about direction or distance after movement. There could be questions on relative positions. There could be questions on faulty compasses. Right? When we talk of distance or movement, we are talking about the straight line distance. So we'll be using the Pythagoras theorem, which is used in right angles or rather right triangles. In a right angle triangle, one of the angles is 90 degree. The lines forming the 90 degree are called the perpendicular and the base. The side opposite 90 degrees is called the hypotenuse. And according to Pythagoras, p square plus b square is equal to h square for a right angle triangle. The three numbers which satisfy the Pythagorean triplet, the three numbers which satisfy the equation are called Pythagorean triplets. For example, 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square. So 3, 4, 5 is a triplet. I can write a triplet starting from any number for that matter. But please understand, if 3, 4, 5 is a triplet, any multiple of 3, 4, 5 will also be a triplet. Into 2, 6, 8, 10. Into 3, 9, 12, 15. All of these will be triplets. So if I say that there are larger numbers, so say 20. Just a second. What will be the triplet with 45 and 60? So when the numbers are large, you look for a common factor. HCF of 15 and 60 is 15. You divide them by 15, 3 and 4. With 3 and 4, the triplet is 5. So with these numbers, the triplet will be common factor into 5, 75. Any multiple of a triplet will also be a triplet. Also, if you are writing a number, say 3, an odd number, and you want to write a triplet, simply square the number 9 and take the half of it, 4.5. So one number less than 4.5, the other more than 4.5. 5. 5 square is 25. 25 half is 12.5. So 12 and 13. 7. 7 square is 49. Half of 49 is 24.5. So 24 and 25. 7, 24, 25 will also be a triplet. So starting with any odd number, say x. I can complete a triplet by saying x square by 2 minus 0.5, x square by 2 plus 0.5. 7 square 49 by 24.5 minus 0.5 plus 0.5. If x were even x, I will say x square by 4 minus 1, x square by 4 plus 1. Basically, say 6. 6 square is 36. 36 by 4 is 9. Minus 1 plus 1. One number can be part of more than one triplet. So these are just methods of writing triplets quickly. But as far as questions are concerned, we'll be looking at these three types of questions. The first one being the most common one says, again, just trace the path and look at the starting and the ending point. Sumit started moving in west direction, walked 6 kilometers straight. After taking a left turn, he moved 4 kilometers and then he started moving towards east. He walked 3 kilometers and stopped. How far is he from the starting point?
5 kilometers.
Just a second. Yeah. So we'll just trace the path. This is his starting point. Sumit walks in the west direction for 6 kilometers, turns left. So left will be anti-clockwise. Starts going here, walks 4, and then starts moving towards east. Because this is west, this would be east. So he starts moving towards east, walks for 3. This is his ending point, this was his starting point. Start, end. We have to find out the distance between the starting and the end. Always the distance is the straight line distance, not what he has displaced. So I drop a perpendicular here, I will see that the vertical displacement is 4, the horizontal displacement is 6 minus 3, right? So basically I get a triangle which has one side as 4, the other has 3. So the hypotenuse will be 3 square plus 4 square under root, which is 5. So he's at a distance of 5 kilometers from where he started. Look at the total horizontal displacement, total vertical displacement, and simply put the Pythagoras theorem. Look at this question then. Saurabh is facing north. He takes 322 turns of 90 degree each in the clockwise direction. In which direction is he facing finally?
So it's south.
Again, 4 turns of 90 degree. 1, 2, 3, 4. Would mean you've completed a circle. And therefore, you will be facing where you were facing initially. So in 322 turns, every 4 turn will mean you come back to the starting point. So in these 322, 320 is a multiple of 4. So 4 turn, 80 times, I will come across or turn around, start facing north. We'll be left with the last 2 turns. So from the north, if he takes 2 turns, 1 and 2, he would have turned a total of 180 degree net, and therefore would be facing south. If I look at relative placement, look at this one. One morning, Abhishek and Tarun. Morning is important here. Were standing in a lawn with their backs towards each other for some reason. They decided that they want to stand with their backs touching each other. Tarun's shadows on Abhishek's left. Which direction was Abhishek facing? The answer would change if they were doing it in the evening. But right now they're doing it in the morning.
So it's south.
South. Is this an answer or a guess?
Abhishek was facing south.
Abhishek was facing south. Alright. So let us draw Abhishek and Tarun. Abhishek facing in this direction. I don't know what direction this is right now. Tarun facing here. So their backs are towards each other. Tarun shadows on Abhishek's left. If this is Abhishek, this would be his left. This would be his right. Tarun's shadows on Abhishek's left. If Tarun's shadows on Abhishek's left, where would the sun be? The sun has to be in the opposite direction. So the sun would be here. Right? In which direction does the sun rise? In which direction does the sun rise? The sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Because it is morning, the sun will be in the east direction. So this is east, which means this is west, which means this is north, this is south. Abhishek was actually facing north. Therefore, Tarun's shadow was on Abhishek's left. Now, suppose I end up drawing this in the opposite direction. I say Abhishek facing here, Tarun facing here. Tarun's shadows on Abhishek's left. As you can see, Abhishek's left would be on this side now. So Tarun's shadow falls like this on Abhishek's left, which means the sun is on the opposite side. In the morning, the sun is in the east, which means this is west. And facing north on the right should be, so this would be north, this would be south. As you can see, Abhishek faces north. So the answer to this question would be north. Draw the two people, look at where the shadow is. The opposite direction is the sun. The sun in the morning is in the east. In the evening, it is the west. So accordingly, you will know what direction is west or east. And then the rest of the directions can be drawn. One last question, I think, for today. Look at this one. The needle of a faulty compass shows north is northeast and so on. So it shows north. This is the actual direction, but this is what it shows. Yeah. A person wants to go south for his college. In which direction, according to the faulty compass, should he go from his starting point? Sorry.
So southeast.
Let us draw the compass.
Southwest.
Let us draw the compass. So the normal directions are north, south, east, and west. The faulty compass shows north is northeast. So according to the faulty compass, the north would be somewhere here, the east would be somewhere here. Therefore, it is showing north is northeast. So these are the faulty compass directions. The person wants to go south. So here is where he wants to go. This direction will be shown as in the faulty compass as southwest. So according to the compass, he should start moving southwest. See, the opposite of north is south, right? So the faulty compass will show the northeast, or northeast. Opposite of northeast in the faulty compass will be southwest. So if he wants to go to south, he should be going southwest. These are some of the questions and directions. Okay. Again, in terms of uh, probability of questions from these topics, LR, I think series is one question which has very high probability for almost any exam that you write. For single questions, coding, decoding too, and for set-based questions, blood relations being a part of the entire question is something that does happen quite a lot, right? So I think that is mostly what I had for today. In the next class, when we meet, we'll try to cover some topics on data interpretation, right? So yeah, that is it for today. Any doubts? Any questions?
There are no doubts, but I have a request. Could you
Yeah,
please
please.
share Jitin sir's number with me? I wanted to have a word with him.
What you can do is, Advik, just drop a message to him on Telegram. In every
Okay.
group, we are all added. Just drop in a
Yes.
message to him directly, so you'll be able to connect with him one on one, right?
Okay.
Sure.